My name is Anderson Joseph, and you're watching the Club Class.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Flubcast. Well, what a game it was this Saturday. Guyana versus TNT. One of the craziest finishes that you have ever seen, and we're going to be talking about that today. I'm just going to be highlighting some areas of the game that I thought was quite interesting, and a little, I like my little flub five. I'm just going to highlight five things, but later this week, I'm going to be doing a big review episode and going through each player individually where I think we'll analyze that. So these are just really some general comments. I'd like to look at the game one more time before I really discuss the players. And again, I am just a fan, just my opinions. But let's have some fun. That's what it's all about. That's what we go and look at it. What a great crowd we had. So before we begin, let's just do a little housekeeping and discuss the event itself. Again, I just would like to thank the TTRU. We asked for the stadium. We want to make these national games an event. We want to make it something special. These players have dedicated a lot of time and effort, and they provided it to us. The venue looked fantastic. We got a nice big crowd. Was everything done to perfection? No, but we began the process. We are working slowly towards where we want to go. I also had a chance to look at the stream afterwards done by, of course, our commentator, Kelson. As usual, I thought he did a fantastic job. I always actually prefer, and I find it sounds a million times better when it's just one person. And as usual, Kelson absolutely killed it, which is just fantastic for us and our players. I just think it's vital as well to highlight this. The audio system was provided by our enthusiast member, Ronald Vera's company, High Definition Audio and Video, and I thought it was great. Thank you. It's little contributions like that make the world of difference. Now, just a few things just to highlight. Again, we're just slowly building to make this event something that people really want to completely and constantly come to. Just one or two issues. So thank you for the Referee Society for running the bar. Unfortunately, a last minute little problem there came up where they couldn't get access to any cans, so they needed to do glass. And because of that, it means that people couldn't take the bottles. They needed to go to the bar, put it in a cup, and carry it. But there were some solutions we could just do. Again, they had to miss the entire game because they were working for us. So we appreciate it, guys. And by us, I mean our fraternity. But a few things, even if it's first or, in the first half, one quarter way, people are at their seats. They're not going to leave their seats, come and get a beer. Crack a 10 bears, put them in cups, have somebody just walking up and down the aisles. You're going to get the bar sales there. We have 200 people there. Let's maximize sales. It can't just be, okay, well, at halftime, we'll have 200 people come in for a beer and they're rushing back to their seat and getting frustrated. Crack a few bears. I'm not saying end of the game, crack 20 bears and then you're stuck with a bunch of open bears. But, in the middle of the first half, going through the second half, let's get bears in people's hands. Just a few thoughts. I thought the crowd was great. I'm so thrilled that we got so many people out. We are moving in the right direction there. A few comments. We had the big sound system and Tabby was on it and he did a great job just highlighting, keeping energy going. A lot of comments to say, okay, well, and me as well, because I enjoy doing it, saying, okay, well, why don't we have live commentaries so the fans could hear the name of the game? Remember, something the TTRU's hands are tied. It is a RAN event. They do a lot of the bills. They pay the bills for the union and stuff like that. They have to do it within their requirements. They have to make sure that there's no biasness from the crowd. And in the past, I have been very biased. So unless I correct that and I could show to the union to say, look, if I'm doing the live commentary, it's not me pushing or questioning the ref and everything like that. So their hands are a little bit tied. But if we continue to prove and get that product out there, I do think it's something that we could correct. The fans want to know who are the players on the pitch. They want to hear. And if we could kill two birds with one stone, where we have Kelson doing that commentary going out to everyone back home, which he killed, and then have me or somebody else, doesn't have to be Robert Stone, doing the commentary so the people in the stands could hear our players' names, could hear what's going on, an explanation. So my wife was there and she was relatively clueless of what's going on, and she's just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, I mean, it looks fun, but could we get and highlight and push it out, get people interested in what's happening in front of them, get them, subconsciously linked to somebody's name. You see somebody that has a big performance and say, wait, that Jonathan Taylor fella fast, but I'd like to see him in our next game, just as an example. I do think a few things, okay? And I know it's a long housekeeping. One, the enthusiasts asked people, hey, bring horns, let's make some noise. Some people left saying, Robert Stone, tell those people stop bringing those horns, and they do ban horns. So maybe it didn't work. We'll see. Let's have it. But the main thing is, we are now past just the bar line talk. If you have an opinion, the one thing I don't get on with the union with a lot of stuff, I'm constantly having arguments and stuff, and I'm sure they dislike me with a lot of things, but they have created some good systems where they have monthly meetings. They are asking clubs, bring your issues, bring your suggestions. How could we help? How could we go forward? But if you are not willing to be a member, where you're not talking to the person from your club to be involved, or you don't even know who from your club is being involved, things will never change. It is not going to work if you're just talking about it afterwards with some friends. Get involved, become part of things, offer to say, look, I'll go in my club, we'll raise issues together, we'll bring it up, and we'll make it better by discussion and putting people up to help. They have made pathways, let's utilize it, okay? So a long housekeeping there. Get involved, let's continue to push, and let's be positive, okay? So, wonderful. That's finished. Let's get to the game. Here's a general overview of what I thought, and then again, later this week, and I love all of y'all, but we're going to have a little bit of a player analysis, and, I say things out of respect and love. So here's my general overview. One, it felt like I was in a dream, where everything I thought that was going to happen with Guyana and Trinidad was almost a reverse, okay? So Trinidad had no real game time before. This is the coaching group's new bought in, and we have a bunch of new combinations to try different things. Yes, we had trial games, which I thought were fantastic, but it was the first time they actually put in on the colours, and that changes everything. And they're going against Guyana. Massive rivalry, all the pressure on in front of your home crowd. And unbelievably, they had some beautiful set pieces from the lineouts, some scrums. They had some backline moves that were scoring 50 meters out. They were doing all these things that I thought were impossible. Our backline fired in so many situations. That was incredible. But we had a lot of trouble, and I think we completely underestimated the amount of power they were going to bring in their scrum. And because their tight five was so powerful, because their scrum was so intense, that our tight five would be either not stuck, but in some cases we did have some go forward, but we had a lot of pressure on it, where Dite and Ballington, our two flankers, were almost trapped trying to just support. So every time they did a move where their big 8-man, Mr. Adams, picked and gold and stuff like that, Dite and Ballington were trapped, and it's because they were trying to overcompensate for the scrum, which was under a lot of pressure. So open field as well, I thought Guyana were outstanding in their rush defense. I thought it was just so immense, bringing those hits, not just coming up, but just aggression. But Guyana was making some mistakes where, if Trinidad secured, just do some little phases and we change direction. And so we go into the left, we set up and we go in right. They were getting exposed. Guyana were where they would do those rush defense. They were committing, they were trying to just suck the oxygen out of it. But if you get those two passes wide, if Chris is just a little deeper there and we get those two passes out, a lot of space was opening up, and our back three were incredibly dangerous. So a lot of positives there. Guyana can be exploited going into game 2. We'll see how it works out. But what a intense game. So it really came down to three things in my mind, and I highlighted. Then I'm going to have my top 5 main things of the game. So here's the top 3, I think. I think it all came down to the tight 5 and the pressure from the tight 5 and scrum and open play. And as I said, it forced our athletes to be trapped, our Dite and Ballington to be trapped, and their 8-man exploited it. I also would think because if we don't get that go forward from our tight 5, realistically, and I love our 8-man, Mr. Wasim Oliver, he might not have that explosion from the base that maybe a Dite to have, or we have some other. I think he is a fantastic member of the squad. I love him as hooker and stuff like that. On the back foot, is his pick and go from the 8, from the scrum that effective? Not exactly, but we'll go into all that. We'll go into combinations, and of course that opens up the door to saying the use of the bench, which I think is going to come down to being the main theme when we're doing the second. If we know that we're going against a massive tight 5 like that, which we didn't, but if we know and we are picking some older players as well, some guys that have a lot of years on them, we might want to consider really stacking that bench. So, we have some options. We might want to say, okay, we want like a massive, like an Ascari to be able to come on. So if Jamal has put in that thing, you could bring on a like-for-like body. Just some examples there. We had York on the bench, like some big bodies that you could bring on in that 60-minute mark and say, look, your big men are exhausted, our big men are exhausted, we're bringing on more big men. Handle that, and let's see if we could get that go forward. And of course, I just want to highlight congratulations to Guyana. Their kicking game was light years ahead of TNT. And I mean that politely. Their kickoffs constantly had us under pressure. High hanging kicks in very, very tough areas where we could only collect. Dite did incredibly well under pressure so many times, just jumping, keeping himself up, bringing in the ball, and getting hard lash and stuff like that. In open field, we would have them pressured on their 5 meter line. We'd pass it back. It was number 9, Kevin Brathwaite, and number 10, Godfrey Brooms. Their exit strategies were incredible. They would half step somebody, boom, line out back on the halfway line. Our kicking was relatively aimless. We would just pump it down the field and give their athletes a chance to just completely fly back at us. Even from some of the penalties we missed, from our kickoffs we missed. And this game was all about momentum. And we were just giving them chances to just come back. And every time we do something incredibly special, we would do something silly and no pressure on, just silly to say, oh, great, now we have to give them a scrum on the middle of the field. And we're back on this huge defensive pressure, okay? So simple mistakes. Trinidad is right there. There's so many, all the hard things, all the set plays that are hard and you need all the hours, we killed it, we crushed it. And all the easy little things, we made a hash of it, okay? So that's the great thing. It's easy to correct, easy things, okay? So I'm going to just say my top 5 things of the game in the overview, and then I hope you all look out for the episode later in the week, which might be, again, out of love, okay, guys? So number 5, I want to say congratulations, fullback James Phillip, for his double try scoring performance. And I think you answered a lot of critics. You hitting the line there was fantastic. I would ask young fullbacks, take a look at that play where he put away Jonathan Taylor, where he broke the line, and then he slowed himself down to make sure he could do a good pass, give Taylor a chance to adjust his line as well, so he could put him away. Masterclass. Now, James, just a reminder, and I think I would like to do something where I highlight, I think, some rules for the fraternity. When they did that deep kick, and James collected in his dead goal area, you have to be aware. So if he touched it before, and then it went in the dead zone, and then he picked it up in the dead zone and put it down, okay, Guyana's ball, scrum on the 5. But if you just tapped it on there, you put all your forwards back on play. Or if it rolled out of bounds, or even if it's still rolling and you put your foot out of bounds and touch it, it'll be as if they kicked it dead. A million different options. But overall, James Phillip, congratulations to that entire back 3. It was really a special performance. Number 4, I'm actually going to go with Captain Joseph Quashie. Quashie keeps on being pushed around. Sometimes they ask him to play fly half. Sometimes they ask him to play first centre. Now they're asking him to play outside centre, which I think is, as a captain, a very difficult, because you're so away from the referee. I like my captains being right on the spot, so you're constantly in the referee's here, but at outside centre, it's so difficult to be involved. But he really had that backline firing with very limited game time. He took some massive hits to put people in space. So Joseph Quashie, I want to just highlight that. I think coming out from having a very limited season to what you did was very special. Number 3, I am actually giving it to a Guyanese player, Kevin Brathwaite. That's the scrum half number 9. Young scrum halves, take a look at how he was maintaining the tempo. It wasn't always quick. When he was slowing it down, when he was allowing his forwards to reset, when he's speaking to them, telling them, okay, guys, don't just pick and go here, wait for your support. When he wanted to change the tempo, it was very interesting to see. At penalties, he knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to just involve his tight 5s. I think they're number 3, I think it was Rondell MacArthur with a double as well, just from tap and pass, just simple stuff. And his kicking out of hand just kept his forwards, just could look up and they trusted to say, right, we under pressure, this man is just going to put us back in and play in the right areas. Stellar game by Kevin Brathwaite. Well done. Number 2 goes to the entire Guyanese tight 5. Congratulations, gentlemen. You were questioned, you were criticized, you were highlighted as an area of potential weakness, and you all showed your critics, and you all gave a fantastic platform for your team to attack off of. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations. Not only that, when they had those penalties, they had, I think, 2 5-meter penalties, and they did not know elaborate anything. It's one of the big boys just saying, MacArthur again, just saying, give it to me against their tight 5, and he scored twice. And that's something that guys are going to have to look at and figure out to say, did we not know that they're going to do a tap and sprint, and then it's just man against man, and who's going to put their heart on the line? I'm not saying that our tight 5 had no heart and things so, but they are now throwing down the gauntlet. Game 2 in Guyana, we're watching. We're watching. And number one, who else could I give it to but 8-man Valon Adams, who wore number 6. If you're looking at it on the screen, he wears number 6. He is a monster of a man. He reminds me of like some genetic hybrid of a fit Giddis and Jesse Richards. And when you give him a platform, your tight 5 is locked in, and he could do that pick and go. He opened up an array of problems. And as I'm saying, Ballington and Dyke they were trying to support our tight 5. And it's something that we're going to have to look at there, because that is something, if we're picking an athletic back row, we need our tight 5, we need our 8-man to add that weight so our open side and blind side, respectively, could get off the ball quickly. Okay, so congratulations to everybody. Deep review coming later in the week. First, I need to focus on Wednesday night touch-up. Gentlemen, please come on out. It is our final night. It would mean a lot to us if you came and bought a beer. Also a great opportunity to come talk to me, tell me what you thought of the game, throw some ideas in my head before I do a review. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. We are one union. It does not matter. Nobody's against anybody. Nobody like this person more. We are all open, and they've opened the door to say, if you want to help, if you want to be part of the solution, here it is. But the days of just complaining from the sideline, that is over. I am pumped to see game 2. I am sure you all are as well. Looking forward to your comments. And let's go TNT.